Clotee here. Remember, Patience Whipple's my name. 'Tis true.
I'm Margaret Ann Brady. I'm Zipporah Feltman.
I'm Hattie Campbell. Abigail Jane Stewart is my name.
We have completed Mem's story. I believe Abigail.
All right, let's go.
Indeed.
Yeah, she's
All
19.
right.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
So the next girl that we will be visiting is Abigail Jane Stewart. She's 12 years old. She's from Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. This is during my favorite historical times because I do love history. I do love.
Shall we go?
This time
There's so much to write.
The very patriotic days of the Constitution, the Revolutionary Army days. I do love it. The colonial days, you will call them. Abigail nursed Revolutionary Army soldiers back to health during the harsh winter
Shall we go?
of
There's so much to
1777
write.
to 78. Now, as the struggle for freedom carries on, she needs your help to face her greatest challenge yet. Well, let's go and help her, shall we? Here she is in her little barn, it looks like, writing in her diary. Let's get some views of the area she's in, shall we? You see, she's just sitting here on the ground with her little basket. And looks like a stable where they keep horses. She's sitting in a stable, just writing away. There she is. Well, let's go and read what she's saying, shall we? I'm going to click on her and listen to her voice lines, and we'll check out the music. So let's do that first. Oh, let me read. This is Abigail's diary. Abigail is about to make a secret discovery, but she doesn't want to do it alone. To come along on her adventure, answer her messages, and earn her friendship. To come along? Maybe it's meant to say so come along. Oh well. Click on the yellow tab to uncover hidden objects in the barn. Click on the forward arrow to open Abigail's diary. Alright, let's see what she has to say. Oh, let's also check out the music. Let's see what we got. So there's this song. Ah, very patriotic. Okay, I like this one. Alright, let's see what she has to say.
Although the Redcoats have not dared enter Valley Forge, I wonder if there be many British spies lurking about. During the winter, I often saw General Washington on horseback, giving encouragement to the men. Now that the soldiers and their cannons have left, our valley is once more a silent and sleepy place. Wandering over the former army camp, my sisters and I have found a good many treasures left behind by the soldiers. 'Tis said there be ghosts now in Valley Forge, ghosts of all the many patriot soldiers who died last winter. I worry about my aunt's family still living in Philadelphia. With the British controlling the city, 'tis not the safest place, nor the friendliest. Martha Washington was always most kind to me and my family. Every day I pray for her safety and our freedom. I remember the day the soldiers arrived at Valley Forge for the winter. They were all a shambles and their footprints left blood on the snow. While the soldiers were here, 'twas hard to recall how quiet our valley had once been, and how much I loved the stillness. 'Twas truly wondrous to see our soldiers in training over the winter, so dedicated to our freedom, despite the hardships they faced. It shall soon be my birthday again. I'll be nearly old enough to marry my sister Elisabeth. One of my favorite chores is milking our cow Brownie. Sometimes she nuzzles my neck when I'm done. On special occasions, my whole family sits down to eat our favorite meal of roast chicken, rough skinned potatoes, and stewed pumpkin. At After the terrible winter our soldiers spent here at Valley Forge, 'tis difficult to imagine what other hardships this war shall bring. 'Twas nearly beyond belief the amount of laundry we washed for General Washington and his staff. I feel sure my hands would be raw forever. 'Tis sad to say my sister Beth hath heard no word from Ben Valentine. I imagine him in battle somewhere wearing his fine bounty coat she so devotedly sewed with her own hands. We have had to give up our little schoolhouse to soldiers too ill to march with the rest of the army. Even when soldiers stole pigs from our barn, Papa never let us waver in our support of their cause. I believe my baby brother Johnny doth prosper just as our nation does, newly born, but healthy and full of hope. 'Twas a cruel sight to see so many suffering boys and men in camp last winter. I only wish there had been more I could have done to help nurse them back to health. Although the Redcoats have not dared enter Valley Forge, I wonder if there be many British spies lurking about. During the winter, I often saw General Washington on horseback, giving encouragement to the men.
Okay, we've been through all her voice lines. Alright, here's her little bio. Abigail Jane Stewart. Nickname, everyone calls me Abby. Age 12. Birthday, August 17th, 1766. Born in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. I live in a small farmhouse with my family in Valley Forge. We have a few crops, a cow, and some chickens. Distinctive personality traits. I always try to be polite and respectful with my elders. I am much more cautious than my friend Lucy or my sister Sally, but also feel a desire for adventure. I confess I haven't much patience for the silly and irresponsible boys here at Valley Forge, but I've never been able to watch someone wounded or suffering, no matter what age, and stand idly by. Oh my goodness, I didn't notice there were more pages. Oh no. Okay, you know, we have to go back to Mem real quick. I'm so sorry. I just realized there were more pages to her little bio that we could have read. Okay, quickly, let's retreat back to Mem.
Come on.
Sorry. Oh, goodness. Okay, Mem. You had a second page? Yes. Okay, favorite people. My dear father and friend Humility, or Hummy, whom I met on the Mayflower coming over to America. Although she will never take the place of Ma'am, I've become quite fond of Hannah, and of course my new friends Samoset and Squanto. Family tree. My father is one of the most skilled carpenters in the settlement. He built our house in the New World. My poor mother, whose Christian name was Grace Whipple, survived the difficult journey across the Atlantic, but later passed away from an illness that swept the colony. Later, my father married Hannah Potts. I also have a mischievous little sister called Blessing. Loves Frumenti, which if you don't know is a delicious cinnamon-flavored pudding. Making up word games and giving people odd or funny secret nicknames. That's how Hummy and I passed the time on the Mayflower, sleeping under the stars, the sweet smell of juniper, ginger cake, and of course eel pie. Ugh, I don't know if that sounds too appetizing. Okay, Mem really dislikes spinning and stitchery of all kinds. I have not the talent for it. Muscles, not being allowed to explore or do proper eel fishing just because I am a girl. Favorite places in the world. In my riding spot by the old settlement Shallop, though I've not yet been, I am sure I will like the green island my father named after my mother, Grace. Chores and skills. All of us in the settlement must help with the waddling, weaving together twigs and plaster to fill the spaces between the logs in our houses. We must also share in the planting and gardening, eel catching, and net making. I am told I have a gift for spinning stories and playing with words. Special memories. The first time I saw an Indian, the day Samoset walked into our settlement to greet us. And the first time I helped Squanto and Father catch eels. Someday hopes to explore other parts of the New World and give names to them. Become friends with an Indian girl. See my dear friend Hummy once again. Here's an image from my book of pictures of Holland. This is a place in Leiden, the city where we lived in after we escaped from England. Holland is full of fine memories for many of us. We were finally free from the persecution of English authorities to practice our faith, but many of the elders began to worry that we would lose our identity if we stayed there, so we journeyed here to Plymouth. This is a sketch of our settlement that one of the strangers made before he returned to England. Strangers are what we call those of us settlers who are not saints, like the rest of us. Oh, you can find answers to her questions in her bio as well, because that was a question. I know not how he came to imagine our settlement from such a high view, not if it really appears this way. He gave us this sketch. He gave this sketch to my father, who had given it to me for my scrapbook. Oh my goodness, there was a lot we didn't read. Our elders are always telling us about our history and travels. Here is a paper I sketched with some of the other girls in the settlement describing the recent history of the saints. It shows our escape from England, our stay in Holland, and our new journey here to the New World. I even drew our other ship, the Speedwell, who stayed behind because she was taking on too much water. This is one of the copies of the charter we had to sign to receive funding for our journey to the New World. In the first line it says that we are indentured to a group supplying the money, meaning that we are to send back goods for 7 years to repay them. I'm not much excited being indentured, but God has seen fit to deliver us to this land, so I won't complain. This be a representation of the Mayflower, the ship that brought us over from England, and our little shallop that we used to come ashore. Although she may be a pretty picture, I cannot see her without thinking of the queasies and how often I had to cast aboard her. Here's another map of the whole area around us, commissioned by our elders. It shows Plymouth Bay and many of the other places we know of now. When I see these other places, I cannot help but think about what lakes or islands are still to be discovered and what names might be put to them. All right, now we have seen Mem's little bio. We're gonna go back to Abigail. Again, I do apologize. I totally had forgotten that their bios are actually very in-depth.
Well then.
And that's why I always loved this game. It was so charming in the way it would share history. Very much like American Girls. Very much. Well, American Girls was made by Scholastic, I believe. Or at least they marketed all the American Girl stuff. And this is a Scholastic game, so it all makes sense. Okay, now let's read your bio. Favorite people, my friend Lucy, who despite her recent misfortunes is still very dear to me. Martha Washington, who has shown herself to be a true source of guidance for us all. My sister Beth and Helen Kern, who has added so much to our household. Family tree, both my parents come from Philadelphia. My father, Edward Stewart, is an excellent shoemaker. I also have an older sister, Elisabeth, a mischievous younger sister named Sally, and a newborn baby brother named Jonathan Edward Stewart. We have many aunts and uncles still living in Philadelphia, even though the British now firmly control the city. Abigail loves taking care of my baby brother, Johnny, and my sister Sally when she behaves, eating dinners of roasted chicken, rough skinned potatoes, and stewed pumpkin, finding our secret pool at the creek in the springtime. Really dislikes bleaching laundry, quite disgusting really, doing laundry at all after all the washing we did for General Washington, the loud obnoxious boys who can think of nothing better to do than throw rocks and muddy a girl's dress. Page 3. Favorite place in the world? Wandering around the former army camp in the valley now that it is so still and peaceful. I also like sitting in our barn, the one we see her riding in, with Brownie on cold winter days. Oh, that must be her horse. Chores and skills, laundry, cooking, and taking care of the house. Watching after my little sister and brother, helping Papa milk the cow, and mind the chickens. Special memories, the day our soldiers marched into Valley Forge last winter, I thought my heart would break. They were in such a sorry state. I also remember my first sight of Martha Washington. She seemed so much plainer than I expected, yet much more pleasant. Someday hopes to live in a free nation, return to Philadelphia after the British have returned to England in defeat. I clipped this from one of Papa's pamphlets about the reasons we must fight together to win our freedom. 'Tis a powerful image that well shows how important it is for the colonies to join together if we wish to defeat the king and his redcoats. This is a map of the soldiers' encampment here at Valley Forge last winter. It was drawn by one of General Washington's aides and shows how much planning was needed to bring the army here for the winter. You can see Valley Creek, where Beth and I have our secret waiting spot. This is a reproduction of Martha Washington from one of the Patriot broadsheets printed in Philadelphia. I'll agree that she has helped the Patriot cause greatly and improved morale among our soldiers through her cheering kindness. Taken from the same broadsheet, here is another image of Martha Washington. These shades, or silhouettes as they are beginning to be known, are quite popular among the people of Washington's social station. When I view these images, I'm reminded of Mrs. Washington's kindness to my family and all of us here in the valley. Here are some pages from an old primer I used in school until it was put to use as a hospital for our soldiers. This was our principal book for instructions in English with morals as well. What I don't like about it is that it uses the word king to illustrate the letter K. I would much rather prefer a word like kinship. Ah, okay. So it was like a little alphabet book. And I'm sure these are all very real images that were actually taken and just incorporated into the storyline. Here's an illustration of General Washington rallying the troops. My sister Beth and I have found berries and other plants to make dyes to color this drawing. Mama suggested some of the coloring, and I've put a $5 Continental script note of Papa's. He'll be wanting that back soon, I suspect. Oh yeah, I gotta give your dad his $5 back. Okay, well, I'm very eager to dive into her story, so let's begin. July 19th, 1778, Sunday. The soldiers left Valley Forge exactly 1 month ago today, and it is a strange place since then. Silent and sleepy, even a lazy place it seems. No sounds of drums and fifes, no cannon shooting off unexpectedly and scaring us half to death, no glimpses of General Washington sitting on his horse or speaking encouragement to the men. They are all gone, chasing after the redcoats in hopes of driving them back. Oh yes, let's see what our first question will be to look out for. Okay, what scared us while the soldiers were camped at Valley Forge? I think she just said cannons going off without warning, right? Yeah. Yes, that was it right there.
Correct.
My first collectible is a needle and thread. Last winter, girls sewed their names into bounty coats and gave them to soldiers in the hopes that they would remember them. Can you find the hidden collectible in my barn? Okay. What city did Lucy return from? We'll keep an eye out for this one. So, hopes of driving them back to England forever. There were many prayers in church today for their success. Alright, Abigail has now messaged us. Hello? Is anyone reading this? Yes, I'm here. Hello, Kristen. Have you been to Valley Forge, Pennsylvania? No, I haven't. You should visit sometime. It's beautiful and also an important place in the history of the colonies. Yes, that is true. I'm glad you like it. Papa calls this weather sultry. It is thick with heat and humid air, and the only relief comes from wading right into the creek and letting the cool water flow over you, or from hiding here in the dusty dark of the barn. Hi, Kristen. Do you like hot weather? Doesn't bother me too much. You're lucky. It sounds like you're a very adaptable person, Kristen. Well, I live where it's cool. Well, I'll just say I definitely am. That's a very good trait. I like her. She's an encouraging friend. I think we have an answer to one of the questions. July 21st. My friend Lucy arrives back tomorrow from Philadelphia, and it will be so good to see her. It's a long story of how she came to be there, but she's been staying these months with my Auntie Hattie. Lucy is fascinated by the British redcoats, and there have been, until recently, many of them in that city. I cannot understand how she can be so friendly to them. Does she not realize we are in the midst of a revolution? Alright, so she has come back from Philadelphia.
Yes!
There's nothing more important for keeping a diary than a good inkwell. Papa brought this back from Philadelphia just before the British took over the city last year. Look for the inkwell in my barn. Alright, the next question, why do we need to find a new schoolhouse? Okay, I think I know. I think they mentioned in her bio that they used it for a hospital, but we'll see what her diary says. I apologize, I forgot to click on her little instant message thing when it popped up. If you don't get to it right away, it will disappear. I should have clicked on that first before going to the trivia question. I was too excited. I'm sure she was going to tell us about her friend Lucy, though. Based off of whatever we read, it's usually what they talk about. So she was probably going to tell us about Lucy, so it's okay. I don't think we missed anything super important. It says right there, our schoolhouse is being used as a hospital for the soldiers who still cannot be moved. So there is to be a discussion among the adults about whether a new school is possible somewhere. I want to go to Lucy's as it's her return, but Beth says if I stay home with them, she will tell me the best ghost story ever. Let's see, is that... yes, it's being used as a hospital.
That's right.
When I was about Sally's age, I visited my Auntie Hattie in Philadelphia. She was so delighted to see her young niece for the first time that she took me into a woodworker's shop down the lane. When she saw my eye fall on this beautifully carved horse, she insisted I take it with me. Alright, the next question will be, what does my father do for a living? Well, we know because of her bio. I think he works with shoes. Anyways, back to the journal. With 2 little children. Alright. Do you think I should go to see Lucy or stay home and hear ghost stories? Go see Lucy. Alright. She's gonna go visit Lucy. I told my dear sister that though I would love to hear her ghost stories another time, seeing Lucy again was more important this time. Also because I'm 4 years younger than she, I'm sure she has a mischievous desire to scare me. And poor Sally too, who's only just turned 7. As for Johnny, well, he's too young to be scared by stories and instead cries from the sound of cannons or loud dogs. Beth is disappointed. I know, but that is my decision. I want to bring Lucy a little gift. Which of these should I choose? Purple handkerchief, gingerbread. Ooh, gingerbread. Yummy, I love hot gingerbread. It's my favorite sweet, I think. Do you know how to bake, Kristen? Yes, I do. Really? Me too. We bake right on the hearth. But my Auntie Hattie owns a bakery shop in Philadelphia and is an expert baker herself. What's your favorite thing to bake? Cookies. My aunt bakes cookies too, but at home we mainly just make pies and cakes, gingerbread and regular bread. Have you ever baked bread? Yes. Good for you, Kristen. Baking bread is not that easy. Beth pleaded with me last night from the moment we crawled into our bed until I made her stop by pretending to be asleep and snoring as loud as I could. Finally, she elbowed me and said, "Shh!" Then put her head under the pillow in a huff. I heard Helen laugh from her cot beside us. Ordinarily, Helen would be here at night, as she lives with us too, but she shall be caring for the widow Maiths, who is ailing and needs a companion. Beth must go it alone. Do you know who Helen Kern is? Remind us, please. She was at the soldiers' camp all last winter with her husband until he died. After he was gone, she discovered she was going to have his baby, so we took her in. She's a very sweet person. I have no idea if I forgot to turn on my mic, but I will read this one more time just in case. Do you know who Helen Kern is? Yes, I think so, but remind me. She was at the soldiers' camp all last winter with her husband until he died. After he was gone, she discovered she was going to have his baby, so we took her in. She's a very sweet person. I have no idea if I'm turning my mic on or off anymore. I might have just read that twice. Oh well, let's proceed anyways. I'm not going to even cut this out. July 24th. Finally, a bit of rain. We've all been inside today except Papa, who must see the blacksmith as horseshoes cannot wait. I helped Sally write her alphabet on her slate while Mama polished the pots. Beth is no longer pouting over my absence of last night. Today, her mind is on Ben Valentine. Oh, how romantic with a last name like Valentine. The boy who got the bounty coat she made. When I came out here, to milk Brownie. Oh, Brownie's her cow. I thought it was her horse. Okay, Brownie's the name of the cow. When I came out here to milk Brownie, she was busy riding him, but what I shall write about next is what I saw on my way to Lucy's. Ooh. Alright, do you know what a bounty coat is? Remind us. It is a coat sewn for a soldier. Many girls make them, and they embroider their names inside. Then a soldier gets the coat, and the girl hopes the boy who's wearing her coat will come find her and perhaps marry her. Oh my goodness. That was like... Was that how they dated back then? The girl just left her name in some random man's coat and hoped that the man would look for her? What if the man wasn't handsome? What if they just didn't even like each other? Wow, that's... Okay. Well, back then, I guess they just had to find a person somehow, right? Okay. I don't want to be rude. I'll say it's romantic, but in the back of my head, that's a little odd. True, I think it's very romantic. The war is very hard on everyone, so if a boy gets a nice coat, it sheds a little good cheer, you know? Especially if he's nice himself and finds the girl who made his coat and they end up together. Well, if he has a good heart, that's very important. Okay. So, the dad... Father do for a living... Didn't it just say? Papa who must see the blacksmith... Oh yeah, no. See the blacksmith. That's not a shoe thing. Never mind. July 29th. Mama and Papa picked me up in the wagon at Lucy's the night I went to see her, and we drove along the road in darkness that was rich and soft. I laid in the back and looked up at all the stars. When I saw one dart across the sky, I wished for our safety and our freedom. How can the king, all the way over in England, dictate how we live in the colonies? I tried to see the fire I had seen before, but it was out, or we were too far from the river to see it. What would you do if you thought you saw a campfire in the woods? I would try to discover what it was. I agree. I think it's important to understand what is really going on before jumping to conclusions. July 30th. There's truly someone in the woods, I'm sure of it. This morning when I was delivering to the Potter house the new shoes Papa had made for their little ones, I again saw something, and right in the very spot I'd seen it before, I saw smoke, as if rising from a small campfire. Could someone be making camp in the woods, eating and sleeping in there? It seems a fine adventure to me. Have you ever camped in the woods? Yes I have. I never really have. Do you like it? It's great. Really? Maybe I should try it sometime. What do you like best about it? Being in nature. Yes, that's the lovely part. But there are lots of bugs outside, and when you sleep, they might crawl all over you. I never see that many bugs. That's lucky then. I seem to see bugs all over the place when I'm in the woods, but they don't bother me too much unless it's a spider. Spiders are cool. Do you know they have 8 eyes? Spiders can creep me out too. I'd rather be in the presence of 100 worms than a single spider. Let's not talk about this awful subject anymore. Friend link connection closed.
Very well done.
It finally said what the dad's job was, which we knew from her bio. I once saw an artisan in Philadelphia make a vase, much like this one. 'Tis a hot and tedious process, for the man must blow through a tube into melted glass, getting the shape he wants before it hardens. Then he cuts the vase from the tube to separate it. Right, our next question will be, what name do we use for the British soldiers? I believe it's redcoats, right? August 2nd. Here's how it happened. Yesterday afternoon, I was returning from Mrs. Hughes' house. She has moved back in now that General Washington no longer has his headquarters there. Mama had asked me to go to her and fetch a bag of herbs for fevers and cramps. On the way back, I was picking wildflowers when I heard a noise in the bush. Nor was it some small creature, as I'd thought, but a boy. But the next instant, he was gone, disappeared into the trees. Do you think I should tell Lucy what I've seen? Oh, tell Lucy. Alright, I shall. Thank you for the advice, Kristen. August 3rd. Since General Washington has led the soldiers out of Valley Forge, and we are no longer his laundresses, doing the wash each Monday seems an easy task, but today it was my turn to iron too, and I nearly fainted from heat stroke while waiting for the iron to heat up in the coals of the fire. All I could think of was how fine and cooling it would be to be floating in Brandywine Creek. No chance to tell Lucy what I saw. Do you love the really hot weather, or do you like really cool weather? I like cool and breezy. I think I prefer the same, especially on laundry days, so spring must be your favorite season. Actually, it's autumn. Autumn is a melancholy, moody time, but beautiful too. Do you think of yourself as a moody and melancholy? No, I just like autumn. Tis an excellent time of year. What do you like the best about it? The colors and smells? The colors and smells. Autumn has a smell to it. You're right about that. When all the leaves turn red and orange, the world is a very amazing place. And that is when the maple syrup flows too, which I love. 'Tis a good season indeed. Some rude boys say there's a monster called Old Warthog who hides in people's cellars, but I hope not in ours. Uh-oh. Do you think what I heard was an animal or Old Warthog? I think it was just an animal. Yes, actually I think so too, but that is a terrible thought itself. What could it have been? A giant rat. This is too terrible to contemplate, Kristen. I could not stand it to encounter a huge, horrible beast with little red eyes. I cannot even think it. Oh my goodness, Abigail. August 4th, I finally engaged Lucy in my search. After afternoon meal, we asked permission to walk along the riverbank and gather wild herbs and berries. We fill our aprons and pockets full of all the good things we can find. But this stroll had a different object. I said to Lucy, "Dost thou wish to investigate with me a thing I hath recently seen of a strange nature?" She eagerly agreed. You know, I kind of wish people still spoke this way today. But where I thought I had seen the boy and his campfire, we discovered nothing. Oh dear. Do you think my eyes were playing tricks on me and I really saw nothing? No, I think you really saw someone. I'm glad you believe me, Kristen, as I am sure of it too, but sometimes my mind can play tricks. We shall see.
You're right.
Although it has long lost its clapper, this delicate little bell was used to call Mama's family to dinner. The handle is polished cherry wood, but the bell itself is hardened china. There was a scene painted on the bell, but it is also faded. Okay, what was my baby brother's name? It's Johnny, right? Oh, I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to get it wrong. Jonathan. So Johnny.
That's right.
Mama gave me this ring when I turned Sally's age. 'Tis a child's ring, but hand-shaped from copper. Now they have molds they use to pour metals into any shape ring they desire. I fear it no longer fits my finger, since I am almost 12 now. What is the name of my aunt in Philadelphia? Hanny. Auntie Hanny.
Correct.
When Martha Washington left Valley Forge, she presented us with a package tied in this elegant ribbon. Mama let me keep the ribbon, which I often use as a bow for my hair. Mama says that the fabric is of a very fine quality and may have come all the way from France. What did my family do for General Washington's during the wash clothes?
You're right.
Oh, this kind of looks like the gem that Mem had. While wandering about the soldiers' camp, I stumbled upon this gem. I thought it must be from an officer and worth a fortune. When I took it to Papa, however, he laughed and assured me it was merely cheap green glass used to decorate trunks. So here it sits, my gemstone. Which of the following did I not receive for my 12th birthday? Okay, well, we have not gotten this far in her story, so let's go back. Oh, she didn't write me? Abigail, nothing. Okay, bye, Abigail. cannot bear to write yet what I am thinking. What are you thinking, Abigail? Tell all. Can you guess why I'm disturbed by meeting this person? I think I know why. Then you are very perceptive. Let me see if you have correctly guessed my secret fear. He's a thief. He's a redcoat. Exactly this, Kristen. We are of the same mind about him, it seems. I am sure of it, but I cannot say it aloud to anyone. 'Tis such a dreadful thought. Did they just say that he has acne on his face? She says the spots on his face, there are only a few, and otherwise I would consider him attractive. Shows at least he's 15. Oh, but I say anyone can get those spots. Okay. Oh my goodness, listen. We have heard terribly sad news this day. The boy, Ben Valentine, has been severely injured at the Battle of Mammoth. Though my sweet sister had dreams of making her bounty coat for a handsome soldier, one with no front teeth ended up with it. And that was Ben. Now we hear that he has had an arm amputated and will be in the hospital. Oh my goodness. Did I not predict this? Oh, poor girl. She... Okay, I needed a laugh. Alright, let's continue. Oh, well, she's still gonna visit him. Maybe there will be love in their future. Let's see. Beth leaves in the morning. This war is wretched. Why cannot the British get back to their ships and sail away forevermore? Beth and I have both seen the horrors of injury, illness, and death in our visits with Martha Washington to the camp. Right here in Valley Forge, it is a sickening thing, but the courage of our soldiers in standing up to the great powers of the Redcoats is a lesson to us all. We must despise the Redcoats, every one. Have you ever been to Philadelphia? Didn't she ask this already? I said no. It's a beautiful and bustling city with much history already behind it, but you might want to wait to visit until the Redcoats are not all over the place. I would if I were you. Agreed. He's a casual and sometimes harsh in his manner, and I do not like him much, but I'm afraid Lucy fancies him a great deal. Oh dear, Lucy. Have you ever had a friend who liked a boy you thought wasn't very nice? Yes. Absolutely. It's a very difficult thing, and I'm sure I don't know what to do. What did you do, Kristen? Well, I kind of tried to break them up because I knew he was not nice. I understand that, Kristen, but it seems cruel in a way. Why does she not see him as I do? Then I wouldn't have to say or do anything. She's an idiot. Love is blind. 'Tis both sad and true, Kristen. The heart can go mad and leave the mind incapable of thinking clearly, I fear. I hope this is not the case with Lucy, but we shall see. Have you ever felt such a thing yourself? Oh, unfortunately, yes. So it sounds like it didn't turn out well. I shall not ask, but I believe there are good lessons in bad experiences, so that may be a small blessing. Next time there is more chance to do better. Absolutely. To which she says, I care not what you think he is. I like him greatly. But how can she? Philip, I know, is a red coat. Tis tis, Lucy. Don't you think I'm right that Philip is probably a red coat? No, but he seems rude. I don't know if he's a red coat, honestly. Does he have one? She didn't mention he had one on him. He is unbearably rude, but do you think I am being too suspicious without cause? You have cause, but you're wrong. If you're suspicious, no wonder he's rude. Tis amazing that you can be so sure without ever meeting him, but I am still against what Lucy is doing, and every time Philip's eyes meet mine, 'tis impossible to think he is not the enemy. Well, he might be. Oh, it appears they are having a quarrel, her and her friend. She's not happy with this. Do you know how to play jackstraws? No, what is jackstraws? It's a fun game with straws. You must throw down a whole handful of them and try to pick them up where they lay one by one. Oh! Okay, I have played this. I didn't know it was called jackstraws. Maybe it goes by a different name nowadays. Okay, so apparently he doesn't want to be a red coat. Alright, why does he not go south where there are no British to find him? Because he is in love with me. Dun dun dun! Do you think Philip really cares for Lucy? Well, if he doesn't want to be part of the bad side, maybe he really does love her. Then you are less a doubting Thomas than I, Kristen, for I don't believe a word of it. Oh dear. Well, let's see what happens. Alright, so he taught her a new game. Best of all, I won 3 of them off the nasty sloth, and it did not please him either. Ooh, she won. Do you know what a sloth is? Yes, it's a lazy animal. An extremely lazy animal, I hear, but I'm sure even the slothiest of all sloths is nearly not as much a layabout as dear Philip. Alright, so the cow gave birth. How lovely. What should we name Brownie's calf? I have picked out 3 choices. Butter for her color, Belle, 'tis a musical name, Mud Pie, like her eyes, but mostly I find it funny, Belle. Let's do Belle. 'Tis a sweet name, is it not? She will like it as much as we do. Thank you for helping me decide, Kristen. August 16th. And I don't believe for a minute he truly loves Lucy. That shall stop the minute she fails to bring him good things to eat or rub his greasy pate. But she is so stubborn when I try to tell her so, and will hear none of it. Do you think I should try to say something more to Lucy or leave her be? Oh, keep trying. I don't know, Kristen. What would I say that I haven't already said? Wake up, bird brain. There are better guys everywhere. Don't settle for that fool. You are so right in these words, Kristen. No girl should accept a boy who speaks rudely to her, not even for a minute. Does Lucy not realize this? He cannot respect her for allowing him to speak as he does. I must try again to be sure. I'm still thinking of the overhanging rock after our day there. When we first arrived, before eating or playing at all, Papa led us in prayer for the men who passed under this very rock last December on their way from Gulf Mills to Valley Forge. The soldiers who marched all were half frozen and starving, bleeding and barely clothed. Papa says the only thing that kept them upright moving forward was the dream of freedom held in mind. I don't think I could ever be that strong or brave, could you? I think I could do that if I really believed in something. Then I congratulate you, Kristen. I admire anyone who can stand up for their beliefs no matter the cost. Have you ever had to stand against the crowd because you believed? Absolutely. 'Twas is difficult for sure. People feel more comfortable when everyone thinks as they do. Yep, it's stupid. But it seems to be part of being human, does it not? I hope I always have as much courage to stand up to things as you seem to, Kristen. Alright, she sat down beside me and straightway asked me to come with her next day to see the warthog. Had we not just prayed together for British defeat? I cannot understand her. Do you think it's wrong of me to call Philip warthog to Lucy's face? Not if it helps Lucy wake up. You mean to say that 'tis alright if it is an instructive thing? I think this may be true, but since I care about Lucy, a part of me feels terrible to call her Beau such a nasty name. She cannot like me for it, but if she does not wake up, as you say, Kristen, then maybe 'twas worth it after all. August 23rd, Sunday, early morning, and I must write quickly before church. Lucy has asked me to dinner at her house and expects me to fetch Philip along with her. Though she's just a calf, I told Belle a moment ago that I had agreed to do this. She led forth with a great mooing sound that seemed like a wild complaint against it. Belle is right, I am sure, for Philip and I are enemies, and he is as much aware of the fact as I. Are you shocked as I that Philip has agreed? Yes, definitely. I feel now that I have been seeing him in something that was never there at all, and all of it is bad. Mayhap when we get a strong opinion of something like I have done about Philip, it colors our world so that we see nothing else. Do you know what I mean? Yes. I do. 'Tis good that you understand, Kristen. 'Tis as if, because I disliked him so, all of his bad points were magnified, and any good that was there became invisible. Not a very accurate picture at all, I'm afraid. How wrong I have been. Promise never again to treat him as the enemy. Philip is a patriot at heart. Do you think this is a good pledge? Yes. I think it is, Abigail. I am glad you support me in my wish to treat Philip kindly, Kristen. Now it remains to be seen how well I do. Uh-oh, August 24th, may he burn, the old warthog has fled. Oh no, warthog is gone. I repeat, the warthog is gone. Then did she scream at the top of her lungs, "You evil British warthog!" And she flung the pie she was carrying smack against the nearest tree. I think we have seen the last of Philip. Oh dear, we had such hope for him. I feel really bad for Lucy, don't you? Yes, I do. We really thought he was actually a good guy. She is so ashamed of herself. I do not want to say or do anything to make her feel worse. I am sure my warnings are ringing loud and clear in her ears even now. But to tell you the truth, I'm glad 'tis done. Absolutely. She deserves better if he doesn't return. Of course she does. A girl should have a boy who is honest and thinks she is a prize of his life and nothing less. I agree completely. To all the girls out there, what Abigail says is true. You deserve someone who is honest and thinks that you are the prize of their life. I have learned some things from my sister Beth, and one of those things is that no one will be able to treat you badly if you do not put up with it. And if you do not put up with it, 'tis more likely you will be seen as a great prize indeed. Poor Lucy. Uh-oh. Did you just see that? Papa found a story about a British soldier who was caught somewhere near these parts trying to coax the daughters of a farmer to give him food and fresh clothing. Oh dear. Abigail asked if they had a name, but they didn't. Roast duck and cabbage never tasted so good to me as they did today. Let's see what she has said to us. I'm sure that was Philip. Yes, it does sound like him. Well, I suppose we shall never know for sure, but Kristen, I'm glad he is gone. Let us hope we all learned something worthwhile from this adventure. I am sure I have. The epilogue. Before the war ended, both Abby and her sister fell in love and got married. Beth married Ben Valentine. Oh, the guy with no teeth. Beth married Ben Valentine. Abby met a blacksmith named Willie Campbell in 1787. They all moved west to the homestead in the Ohio River Valley in their new independent country. Aww. Okay, which of the following did I not receive for my 12th birthday? Did it say? I'm going to say a kite. I don't even think kites were invented yet.
Not quite.
Oh, maybe they... Well, duh. Benjamin Franklin used a kite. Why did I say that? Duh. Yes, of course kites were around. Kristen. Okay. A candlestick holder? A comb? A locket.
You're right.
Yes. Alright, this candle holder was one of my gifts for my 12th birthday. 'Tis beautiful and surely practical for writing in a diary. If only I could be given the gift of a long-standing supply of candles. They will be so tedious to make, and we are always running out. Alright, last one. Where does Helen Kern live? Doesn't she live with the family? Congratulations, this is my last collectible. It's a fine wooden comb that was a gift for my birthday from Helen Kern. If you've missed any questions along the way, you have more chances to get them right. Alright, I think we answered all of them. So that was a bit of a love story that Abigail witnessed with a terrible redcoat that was just taking advantage of Lucy. How sad. Let's go look for the collectibles in the scene. Shall we? Alright, there's the candle. I think we need to have a closer view. There's the cup. The ring. Oh, there's that necklace. Yeah. Oh, there's the ribbon and the comb and the jewel.